Hello and welcome to The Big Picture. It is the 85th anniversary of the martyrdom of Bhagat Singh. He, along with Rajguru and Sukhdev, were hanged by the British government for waging a war against the state on March 23, 1931. Bhagat Singh, who had captured the imagination of the Indians in those days, has continued to capture the imagination of generations of Indians ever since. The fact he was just 24 years old, and even in that young age, he had already made a mark on the freedom movement with his revolutionary zeal and clarity, continues to fascinate people. His brand of nationalism is also something which has been discussed and debated for years. In the present context, what does Bhagat Singh mean to the country, and where does his brand of nationalism stand? What is his legacy, and can any political party or parties appropriate his legacy? We will discuss all this today with Professor Harbans Mukhia, who will be joining us very soon, Commodore retired Uday Bhaskar, Director, Society for Policy Studies, Dr. Sambit Patra, National Spokesperson of the BJP, and Siddharth Varadarajan, Founding Editor, The Wire.in. Welcome to all of you. Uday, it's interesting that you wrote a piece today in the newspaper about nationalism of Bhagat Singh. His nationalism in the in the early part of the 20th century and today, how does it gel?
Well, Girish, I would say the reason why I drew attention to Bhagat Singh and his contribution in terms of the debate on nationalism is that A, for me as a student, he remains a very, very amazing personality. That at a time when we had stalwarts like Mahatma Gandhi, Lala Lajpat Rai, and various other, shall we say, towering figures of the freedom movement, you have this relatively young man, a callow youth, if I could use that expression, 80 years down the road, who was in his early 20s. And he streaks like a meteor across the freedom movement context or the sky of the freedom struggle at that time. And to me, what was amazing is the way in which he, as the word you used, is fascinate,
yes,
generations to come. So my query as a student was, what did he stand for at a time when the debate on nationalism and patriotism has been ignited in recent months, particularly after the controversy in JNU. And there are two words here. One is nationalism and the other is patriotism. And we are also aware that in recent weeks in India, we have had this kind of focus on the slogan, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.
Yes.
So it's in that context that I was trying to research or at least look at Bhagat Singh, and I came up with this particular sort of formulation saying that the way in which he has been appropriated by certain constituencies in India is at variance with the real Bhagat Singh. To me, he was an atheist, he was a Marxist influenced by the communism of the former Soviet Union, an atheist, and above all a rationalist who really was, I think, seeking social justice, which eluded India in the 30s. He wanted India to be free of the colonial yoke, and there is a utopian vision. He rejected any kind of communal identities.
It's very interesting.
It is that kind of a Bhagat Singh that I was trying to discover for myself.
It's very interesting that you call it utopian. He himself called at that time the non-violent struggle as utopian.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
He differed with Mahatma Gandhi.
He differed with Mahatma Gandhi, and in that letter, with the famous letter he wrote, he said, there's this utopian, non-violent way in it. Sambit, your party is one of the parties which is trying to see Bhagat Singh as one of its heroes. So why this kind of a situation has come up now, where national heroes are being tried to be appropriated by individual political parties?
It's not that national heroes are trying to be appropriated. Even if they were to be appropriated by the BJP or the Congress or any other political party, we should be thankful that at least we are appropriating people of eminence, at least people who taught goodness to this world. There's nothing wrong in appropriating also. But I believe more than appropriating personalities, what we are trying to buy is the idea of the person. If people said that we are appropriating Sardar Patel, if people say that we are appropriating Baba Saheb Ambedkar or Bhagat Singh today, it's not that we are appropriating personalities. What they taught to this world, that's what we are trying to stand with. That's what we are trying to tell to the people. As far as this particular present day situation is concerned, two things have to be looked. The context for which today we are discussing Bhagat Singh. First, whatever happened on 9th of February 2016 in the campus of JNU, the slogans that Sir was talking about. And secondly, how Shashi Tharoor compared one of the, I would not say miscreants, but still one of the accused with Bhagat Singh. The question is, are we to compare people like Kanhaiya Kumar with Bhagat Singh? Was it done with a kind of political intonation? That's what we are questioning presently.
No, but that is okay. That is one part of the problem. That, you know, from today, I think your party is celebrating 3 days. You know, for next 3 days, your party is celebrating. In that context, how are you appropriating in the context of what Uday says?
You are right, because
where does BJP stand as far as Bhagat Singh is concerned?
Yeah, look, I mean, in fact, I was also present in the press conference yesterday when Prakash Javadekar ji, the minister, declared that 3 days from today, we would be in kind of remembering Bhagat Singh. First, today being the martyrdom day of Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru, we would be, in fact, it is a legacy of Bharatiya Janata Party. Remember, the Congress never attends the martyrdom day. They don't celebrate the martyrdom's day. We have been constantly celebrating the martyrdom's day right from the past as well. Secondly, tomorrow being Holi, we would be singing Rang De Basanti Chola. I mean, there is something which we already have been doing. I don't think any objection would be to this. And third day would be the important day as far as the political intonation is concerned, because as was said, we would be burning the effigy of the mentality which tries to say that Kanhaiya Kumar is equivalent to Bhagat Singh, where we see that this is demeaning Bhagat Singh.
Okay. Professor, we're now joined in by Professor Harbans Mukhia, an eminent historian and a former professor at the JNU. Professor Mukhia, Congress had appropriated a lot of these national heroes for a long time. Now it is the turn of the BJP. You see this political parties appropriating national. How do you see the political parties appropriating national heroes over a period of time?
Well, many ways of appropriation and many reasons for appropriation. One, Mr. Patra, before I come to that, referred to 9th February 2016 happenings at JNU, in JNU. Let me say that, you know, so many lies are being told and repeated again and again and again about what happened in JNU. It has been proved again and again that, you know, a lot of what is being attributed to JNU did not happen, or it happened without involving JNU students, JNU faculty, etc. And that those people who did shout slogans, anti-patriotic slogans, they will never be caught, you know. And they are outsiders. It has been proved that they have been outsiders. They will never be caught, you know. Why is it that they will never be caught? That's one question, you know. It's related
that's a separate debate altogether.
No, it's related to appropriation, because you appropriate some things and you want to wish away other things, you know. You appropriate something which does not belong to you in a way, you know, in the sense that BJP is busy appropriating, as my friend described Bhagat Singh. He was an atheist, he was a Marxist. One of the stories about him, probably true, probably untrue, was that when he was being hanged, and you always ask a prisoner, what is your last wish? And his last wish was, he said, let me finish this last chapter of Marx's book, you know. So that was Bhagat Singh, you know, totally at the opposite end of BJP, you know, and yet there is a need for appropriation for the BJP, because during the freedom struggle, we all know the RSS completely kept itself aloof from the freedom struggle. If anything, they cooperated with the British again and created problems in Indian society and so. So there is a need for appropriation, and we need for appropriation of a part of the legacy, not the whole legacy that Bhagat Singh has left behind.
The other part of the legacy has been appropriated by the Congress.
Yes, of course, the Congress. Yes.
Okay, because even Congress cannot claim the full legacy, because if you're going by what he says and what we all know, a Marxist, an atheist, and all that, Congress doesn't figure there. No. And Bhagat Singh himself was not too excited about the Congress base.
Far from it. Far from it. Actually, I'm not pitting. I'm not pitting Congress and the BJP. You know, my choice is not if I don't agree with BJP, I go to Congress. That's not my choice. You know, Congress is equally guilty of many things. which are wrong today. Many things which are wrong today. But that does not justify, one doesn't justify the other, and therefore to pitch, because you are criticizing the BJP, therefore you are with the Congress or the other way around, that's not my stand.
Absolutely. Yes.
I just want to bring in the fact over here that we are trying to appropriate Bhagat Singh, despite the fact that he stands poles apart from what our ideas are, what our ideology is. I would say, look, whatever his ideology may be, I would not run into history and I would not try to have a tango with the historians, because I know with the historians I cannot win. But I would say, despite the fact that he may be an atheist, he would have been a Marxist, whatever it is, I take it as right. But I say that he was fighting against the Britishers, he was fighting for the liberation of the motherland. He was not giving slogans as Hindustan ke 100 tukde ho. He was not standing with the Britishers, he was rather standing with the people for which he was fighting. So if we appropriate that very idea, the idea of nationalism, that's what our question is. What we are trying to say today is, well, as a nation, we have to have this idea of nationhood. What's wrong in that?
Okay, we'll discuss that. Meanwhile, we need to go into a very short break. We'll come back very soon and continue this discussion. Please keep watching.
आज न छोड़ेंगे बस हम जोली खेलेंगे हम होली खेलेंगे हम होली चाहे भीगे तेरी चुनरिया चाहे भीगे।
देखिए होली के दिन हमारी खास पेशकश रंग बरसी सिर्फ राज्यसभा टीवी पर।
Okay, welcome back. We are discussing the legacy of Bhagat Singh on the 85th martyrdom day of Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and others. So, Professor Mukhia, I was talking to you about this. He says that it's a question of fighting the what he stood for. He fought against the British. So that is why how can you blame the BJP for appropriating him or celebrating his life?
Well, I'm not blaming them. They are most welcome to appropriate anyone that they like to. Anybody, India is a free country so far, so you can appropriate anyone. So it's not a question of blaming, It's a question of trying to understand why are they so keen to blame somebody who doesn't even belong to their ilk. But I think more important is the question of
more important is the nationalism
exactly.
of Bhagat Singh and how relevant is it today?
Exactly. Now, to begin with, nationalism is a concept. Nationalism is not a given reality, fixed reality, A concept is always a concept which changes with time, which changes with context, which changes its meaning, In the medieval world, there was no nationalism, there was no patriotism, there was not even a notion of country, All of these notions come very, very late, 17th, 18th, 19th century onwards in different ways, And therefore, there is a transition here. In the medieval world, everywhere there was a question of loyalty rather than patriotism, and loyalty to a person rather than to a country.
Loyalty to the king.
Loyalty to the king or a person or lord or whoever, your master. Now, there is a transition from loyalty to patriotism. We have to understand that change which has come about. We have to understand that nationalism has meant different things to different people all the time,
Right.
For Rabindranath Tagore, nationalism was a curse by itself, in itself. For Hitler, nationalism was the basis of his construction of fascism,
Right.
And so on and so forth, you can go on. So I think nationalism, like any other concept, is subject to various interpretations, various understandings, and changing meaning. So it's not a fixed concept.
Okay, Siddharth, how do you see the present day situation when it comes to issues of nationalism and especially in the context of what Bhagat Singh stood for?
You see, it is important when we speak of and when we recognize the martyrdom of Shaheed Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev, that we bear in mind what it is that they stood for. That they were not nationalists in some abstract, amorphous sense. For them, fighting for the nation was fighting for the rights of the people of India, fighting for the rights of people against the exploiters. And if you look at the last testament or the last petition that Shahid Bhagat Singh sent to the British government, in which he said that we have waged war and we demand that you send a firing squad rather than hangers.
Exactly.
But what he also said in that statement was that India's war for freedom will carry on as long as a handful of exploiters, whether they be British or Indian, continue to suck the blood of the people of India.
Right.
So
right.
it's very clear that for him, the fight for Indian independence was closely linked to the fight for the social and economic emancipation of the people of India.
Right.
India or nation was not an abstract Bharat Mata, but it's the living flesh of its people and the question of their rights. So today when we have, whether it's Congress or BJP, which when they've ruled India have implemented policies that are patently against the interests of working people, it's quite astonishing for them to try to appropriate his legacy. I can understand why they want to do it, particularly the BJP, which does not have freedom fighter icons of its own. But, for them to essentially cloak themselves in Shahid Bhagat Singh's, to bask in his halo somehow, I think is very, very regrettable. And especially if they're going to use him to settle scores with their political opponents of the day. I think it's obnoxious that we are discussing Kanhaiya Kumar or anything else on a day like this when the issue is of what Shahid Bhagat Singh stood for. And, so to use Shahid Bhagat Singh's name to score a point against Kanhaiya or against this or that opponent, really, is a very poor form of politics, quite frankly. And it just tells us that parties who are trying to appropriate his name are not at all sincere about respecting the politics and the message behind Shahid Bhagat Singh's life and death.
Okay. Would you like to react
Yes,
to it? I'll come to
I
you.
heard both of them. See, I'll come
But
directly to the
this is
point.
what Siddharth says, that you are trying to appropriate when it doesn't stand anywhere.
See, as far as the appropriation is concerned, I have answered enough. But let me come to the larger point over here. I mean, look, I have heard quite a bit of beautiful words, strong English words, but that volumes have been written shows how little is known. What are we fighting for? I mean, I have heard through my own ears, through the television channels, a teacher in JNU standing and saying that Northeast and Kashmir, in fact, has been put as part of India through aggression of Indian army. And I have heard Kanhaiya Kumar through my own ears when he says that Indian army is a rapist army. They have been raping women in Jammu and Kashmir.
Why are you bringing Kanhaiya in this debate?
It's not. The whole debate on Bhagat Singh started because of the comparison.
You
because
think
sir, let me complete. It all started. What happened? Shashi Tharoor went and compared Bhagat Singh with Kanhaiya Kumar. What did the Bharatiya Janata Party say? The Bharatiya Janata Party said that this is not a fair comparison. You should not compare this way.
Could
Was
you
it wrong?
not have ignored it?
No. What are you supposed to ignore?
Why are you not? Why don't you
in fact,
ignore
this
it?
is what is happening
Here
from
is
the
a
very
young
beginning.
student leader of a small university.
There's nothing called as an infant student. That these students are not toddler students.
No, I didn't
and
say
the
infant
teacher.
student. I said a young
No,
student.
you did not say. But this is what has been focused. I mean, this is what has been peddled. That why don't we ignore all these slogans? Why don't we ignore what the professors,
I'm not
some
talking about the
professors in
slogans.
JNU are
Again,
saying?
don't,
Why don't we
confuse.
ignore what Shashi Tharoor said? Why don't we ignore when Kanhaiya meets Rahul Gandhi? If we are to ignore all this, what would happen to the vigilantism that the government is supposed to have? Tomorrow, if we have a Brussels-like attack in the country, you would say why this government was ignoring everything. I'm not saying towards JNU. I'm saying the government's duty is to be vigilant. No. The government is supposed to be vigilant in all aspects. Whatever is happening in whichever corner of the country, the government should be vigilant about it. And that's what the government is doing. We are not transgressing from the path of the law as well. If Kanhaiya Kumar is out in interim bail, that is by the decision of the court. It's not that the government is doing it.
No, that has nothing to do with this. Yes, I'll come to you, sir.
Girish, I think, more as a citizen, not as a political representative either of the BJP or other parties. I think when we talk about nationalism in relation to Bhagat Singh, there is a certain normative context. It's visionary, it's constructive, and he is talking about the quest for a certain social justice.
Exactly.
Whether it is under the colonial yoke and the British, shall we say, Raj at that time, he is actually prescient. He says you don't want to replace the white sahibs with the brown sahibs. So my own response as a citizen of India is that today the debate on nationalism, and I think what Mr. Patra says in many ways reflects that, it has become very divisive. it's become bitter. And what disturbs me is, for instance, we are talking about a 3-day commemoration of Bhagat Singh, and the last day is burning of effigies. Now, this is what disturbs me considerably, because we have set up a straw man. This whole controversy related to JNU, which Professor Mukhia has rightly said, is actually counterfactual. That the suggestion that there is this whole constituency, whether in JNU or what is often broadly described as the left liberal, that is anti-national. I am saying that is the invalid proposition, but yet it is being attacked with great intensity. And the symbolism of a party in power actually celebrating a day where you burn effigies, which are ostensibly anti-national, and then link it with Bhagat Singh, to me that is an invalid construct. So that is why I wanted to raise this, and the reason why you asked me, why did I write that article? I wrote that article as a citizen of India and saying that our nationalism should be more malleable, it should be more constructive, it should be consensual. Your metric cannot be Bharat Mata ki Jai, that if you do not subscribe to that, then you're anti-national.
Okay.
That is unfortunate.
Okay, Professor Mukhia.
Yeah, well, one that, quite frankly, if I had been told that we have come here to discuss Shashi Tharoor's comment about
No,
Bhagat
that was
Singh,
not the intention.
yeah, I would have said no, thank you. But we had come to discuss the legacy of Bhagat Singh,
legacy
and
of
what,
Bhagat Singh,
what we
yes.
are discussing is why did Shashi Tharoor say this
Yeah,
about
no, that is
Kanhaiya
not
Kumar?
an issue at all.
Yeah, but it's being discussed nonetheless.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's being center stage, as it were. And I think it's a straw man being put up, because there is a reason for a straw man being put up. There is a reason for peddling this notion of the monopoly, my monopoly of nationalism. I know what nationalism is, nobody else, and you'll have to follow my nationalism. That's what we are being told again and again. Is that it's a kind of insurance policy for the government. If I fail on all the promises that we had made 2 years ago, then okay, let's try to divert our attention, the nation's attention to this. Well, that's how I see it. So that it's a reason why they are beginning to celebrate 3 days of Bhagat Singh, etc., etc. The only freedom fighter icon the BJP can command is V.D. Savarkar, who naturally suffered a great deal in the cellular jail and etc. But you also don't forget that that there are hundreds of freedom fighters lodged there. Many of them, most of them died there. But V.D. Savarkar came out after apologizing to the government, British government,
Anyway,
5 times.
that is
So
again a
that's what-
separate.
No,
again,
it's not separate, because they have got to appropriate somebody from the freedom struggle, if apart from V.D. Savarkar.
Sambit, my question is this: If this JNU thing had not happened, would Bhagat Singh's 85th martyrdom would it have become such a big issue?
I will answer both the things.
no.
In fact, Professor Sahab and many in the Congress as well have been questioning us as to we have no icons fighting for us during the independence days. And to this frequently, there's no Congress spokesperson over here, but what I had replied to the Congress was, my grandfather's grandfather or my forefathers were fighting, in fact, the forefathers of Sonia Gandhi. That's what. Sonia Gandhi is the head of the Congress party. She is a white lady from the European country. My grandfather was naturally fighting the grandfathers and the ancestors of Sonia Gandhi. So please don't tease us saying that we have no one who fought for the independence of this country. This is like teasing Indians.
He's talking about
I was not subjecting this.
iconic hero.
This
That's what he was talking
this
about.
was not directed to Professor Sahab at all. This is directed to
it's
the larger
nothing to do with
audience
your
and particularly
family or your family's
it is
legacy in the freedom
BJP is
struggle.
also conglomeration of the families of this country. 11 crore families have come together to form BJP naturally. And secondly, as far as you saying that we are trying to appropriate Bhagat Singh and the JNU thing in the center of this whole issue, because that was the question it was. Yes, we were celebrating. You have rightly pointed out, we were celebrating years altogether as far as Bhagat Singh's legacy is concerned, and I have pointed out the Congress never celebrated that.
So this is something which
Last
would
year
have,
also
in
we
any case,
celebrate. Yes,
it would have
in any way we would have
happened,
yes,
then even if
in
the JNU
any
thing
case,
was not
in
there.
any case, it would have happened. It only occupied the center stage because of the fact, though Professor Saab may not like it, because of the fact that Shashi Tharoor compared
I don't
Kanhaiya
think
Kumar
Shashi
with
Tharoor
Bhagat
is an
Singh.
issue at all in this. Anyway, Siddharth,
Yes.
Siddharth, how would you respond to what Sambit says?
I just I think Shahid Bhagat Singh would be very, very disconcerted with the way in which political parties today are trying to score cheap, petty points of the kind that we've heard Mr. Patra try to score in this show, quite frankly. The fact of the matter is that he gave his life for a certain vision of this country, a vision which stands completely at the opposite end of what the BJP and the Congress believe in.
Exactly.
So if the Congress said something and the BJP said something, I don't think we need to dignify those comments on a day when we want to remember what Shahid Bhagat Singh stood for.
Okay.
I think that's, for the last half an hour, this attempt to play politics, if this is what we're going to see over the next 3 days, I cannot think of a bigger disservice to the memory of India's greatest martyr being committed by a party that's ruling India. I mean, this is the same party that in Haryana, there was a decision to name the airport after Shahid Bhagat Singh. They unilaterally changed it and say we're going to name it after an RSS fellow. RSS did not do anything to fight for India's freedom. Veer Savarkar, whom the BJP venerates, if you compare his petition from Andaman jail to the petition that Shahid Bhagat Singh sent, you can see the difference between a patriot of India and a so-called Hindu nationalist. See, so we should remember him and not Hindutva on a day when we commemorate and honor the memory of Shahid Bhagat Singh.
Okay. Now, actually, we have Yadvendra Singh, the grandnephew of Bhagat Singh, on the phone line with us. Mr. Singh, it's very, we are just running completely out of time. We just want one comment from you. How do you look at the way this whole thing is playing out now, the nationalism of Bhagat Singh and the present context?
I would say that कि भगत सिंह जी को किसी भी एक सोच के अंदर हमें नहीं रखना चाहिए, चाहे वो कम्युनिस्ट की हो, चाहे वो राइटिस्ट हो या लेफ्टिस्ट हो, किसी भी एक सोच या विचारधारा में भगत सिंह जी को आप नहीं रख सकते। मेरा तो मानना ये है भगत सिंह जी ना राइटिस्ट हैं ना लेफ्टिस्ट हैं, वो नेशनलिस्ट हैं। सेकेंडली मैं इसमें एक और चीज ऐड ऑन करना चाहूँगा, अगर भगत सिंह जी लेफ्टिस्ट होते, अगर हम जो एक ही विचारधारा के साथ उनको जोड़ रहे हैं, तो वो कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी ऑफ इंडिया को ज्वाइन करते, ना कि HSRA ग्रुप बनाते। उन्होंने HSRA ग्रुप बनाया था, ना कि कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी ऑफ इंडिया को ज्वाइन किया था। जैसे माओ ने कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी ऑफ चाइना को ज्वाइन किया था और वो फाउंडिंग मेंबर्स में से हैं कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी के चाइना में, तो उस वक्त भगत सिंह जी भी चाहते तो फिर कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी ऑफ इंडिया को ज्वाइन करते। तो मेरे हिसाब से भगत सिंह जी को किसी भी एक सोच के साथ बांधना गलत बात होगी, जस्टिफाई होगा भगत सिंह जी के साथ। ना उनको किसी आप धर्म में बांध सकते हैं, ना किसी आप उनको एक जाति में बांध सकते हैं, ना किसी एक प्रदेश के उस पर आप बांध सकते हैं। तो भगत सिंह जी एक अपने आप में आइडिया है जो इंडिया को प्यार करता है और इंडिया की एकता और अखंडता के लिए लड़ना चाहता है। वो है भगत सिंह जी। मेरा तो कहना यही होगा।
I think you have made the best statement so far. Professor Mukhia, would you like to respond to it? And we completely run out of time.
Well, he's made a very good statement, sure. And I think one can pay respect to Bhagat Singh's great sacrifice by not making him an icon of dispute here, but an icon of harmony,
Exactly.
That's what is required.
I think that
I'll just take 10 seconds. I'll borrow
Don't
two
make
words.
him an icon of dispute.
Not at all, not at all. He can never be an icon of dispute. Look, his nephew, in fact, grandnephew used two words, ekta or akhandata of Hindustan. And that's the reason as to why Ms. Siddharth Varadarajan may feel that we are doing cheap politics. But even if it is cheap politics, we stand for the unity of this country. We do not go by what the professor said, that Northeast and Kashmir should not be part of India. We do not stand by that.
I don't think that was...
Nobody ever said that.
Again,
He said that.
You are raising...
Don't say that was all doctor.
You're making a, again...
No, I'm making the right point, sir. It's not dispute.
Very quickly,
that
last
in the
words.
very end, let us celebrate the normative nationalism that Bhagat Singh ji stood for.
I think on that note, we need to end. I don't think I can add anything more to what all of you have said and ultimately what Uday has said. Thanks to all my guests. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue in the big picture, same time tomorrow.